BMW India is making history. Big sales numbers coming in, not just for 1 month and not just for 1 quarter, but for the first half of the year. And these are new records for BMW here in India for the first time. We're also talking about a time when the premium segment across the board has also grown very smartly in the first 6 months of this year. Let's talk about that and the reasons behind this growth, also what we can expect from BMW India, from the president of the group here in the country, Vikram Pawah. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Siddharth.
Always is.
Always.
And congratulations, first up, great
Thank
numbers.
You. Thank you.
Some of that is not a surprise because I'm aware of some of the build-up that's led to this point. You also have one of the youngest portfolios right now,
Yes.
enviable for the rivals. Talk us through that. Talk us through these historic numbers.
Yeah, I think you summed it pretty correct that it's not only we've broken the record for the best ever month, best ever quarter, but also best ever half-yearly sales, irrespective whether it's the first half or the second half of the year. So really proud of the team there, the way they've steered the business in this first half. Could have been better, honestly, could have been even better. Because first 4 months we were constrained with the supply a little bit. Tail end of last year, we had some supply restriction that followed into this year. So if I look at May and June supplies that we have done, the deliveries we have done, 32% increase. So that is phenomenal. And I think that sets the tone of what we have done in the last 2 years, over 30% plus growth back to back. And I think we are here for delivering another fantastic year. But I'm not just numbers thing, but there are a few other things that are really making us really proud, that even the online sales in the first half have been 21%. That's the best ever as well. The 360-degree program, the finance product that we have, which is what is known as a leasing product in India, I think that's catching up as well because we are seeing record write-ups of that as well. And then best ever order bank, and the order intake in the first half of over 8,000 cars, so fantastic. All three brands growing, BMW Mini and Motorrad is the outshining thing here with 50% growth.
In fact, I was going to say that when you say BMW India has had this great run, we can't forget about Motorrad. People tend to think of just the cars.
Yeah.
So I'll come to that. But the point you made about, it could have been even better had you had the sort of supplies that you would have liked. It also shows what's happening in the market. The fact that, consumers' confidence has come back so strongly to this space. New products and new ideas, your electrics, all of that, of course, adds to the excitement. But consumer sentiment, given what's happening globally, this must seem really reassuring.
It is actually, and India, I think, is absolutely immune from what's happening globally, must say, and I think that's reflective in, if you talk to anyone out in the streets, and especially our customers, the kind of confidence they, exude right now is fantastic. They are confident about the future, not only just the year, but in the entire decade for India, actually. And I think that's got to come from all that's happening with the economy. The domestic consumption is strong, our disposable incomes are increasing. The culture shift is happening as well, a little bit after COVID. I think we've seen that, a little bit shift on the culture side as well. People want to splurge on themselves. So that's happening. Infrastructure is developing at the same time. The kind of roads you're talking about, I'm sure you've been on the Delhi-Mumbai expressway, right?
It's terrific.
120 kilometers an hour. If you're driving, you want a best car there to enjoy it, right? So all those factors combined are giving kind of the tailwind that you want at this time, which is, I think, long overdue for India. We've spoken about this many times, that India has a long way to go to get to that 5% or 8% of premium segment penetration. So at least heading in the right direction. But I think for us, you're right, we have driven it more by the model portfolio. Be it a high-end luxury class that we launched this year, the entry-level X1 that we launched, and also the electrics. All three are giving us a phenomenal increase in the sales. And that's why it gives me the confidence that it's not only one end of the market or the other end that's working, it's all across.
Across the board, yeah.
Yeah, so if you could give you an example, a luxury class, which is 7, i7, X7, and XM, those four, they've grown by 128%, almost up to 20% of our portfolio now, right, in terms of sales. Similarly, X1 that we launched only in January, delivery started in April, 50% growth in the demand side. Already.
And it's highest ever bookings.
It is highest ever booking as well, right? So which is great, fantastic. And electrics continue to grow. We continue to lead this space. So, I'm happy that we are able to drive growth through 3 or 4 key platforms, not just one.
In fact, I want to break some of that up now.
Sure.
Let's look at what's happened with some of your rivals as well. There was a lot of talk that, hey, this segment or this end of the market hasn't quite grown as we may have predicted 10, 15 years ago. So now let's just focus on the high margin products, forget about volume or forget about large numbers. What you're saying that, yes, you have the situation where the luxury portfolio has grown, but it's not the only part that's grown.
True.
Was there such a feeling maybe 2 years ago that, hey, we should just focus on the at least the high margin products and not worry about volume, or
For
do you
us,
always
no.
keep it
No,
sort of
we
going on
wanted to
both?
we wanted to get more people. So we always said that in India we need to expand the market. That's been our strategy. That for premium the market has to expand. More people need to come into premium, and they'll always come at the entry level. They're never going to directly come into a luxury point, right? Yes, the luxury expanding as well is a good thing, which we are doing at the moment. But for me, what's important is making sure there's enough people coming into the premium space and migrating upwards. So with X1, I think we've proven that now, because when I look at the customer profile, 76% of them are actually migrating upwards. It's their first
So it's their
premium
first time.
purchase.
Yeah.
And that's a great testament to the product X1 itself, because we knew it. If you have the right product substance at that point, people will migrate upwards, and that's exactly what is happening with the X1.
And the first two generations did the same. So this is only
This
going
is
to
doing
make it
even
bigger.
better,
Yeah,
even
this is
better
only gonna
actually.
make it
So it's
bigger.
expanding it even better, because I think now it's even more spacious,
Yeah.
more road presence, much more sharper looking than the previous generation, and of course a lot of technology in there. So a perfect fit for those what I call as young family and adventure oriented people, because again, looking at this customer profile, which is very different than the previous generations. 56% of these people are between the age group of 31 to 45, which is that right audience who want to come into premium actually. So great result there, I think, in the first 6 months on that one.
And once they have a good experience, presumably they'll stay with you.
They will, absolutely.
The point, I must tell you anecdotally, that when Volvo launched the C40 Recharge at the press conference, they had this slide which talked about their share of BEVs. And I was like, hold on a second, look at this large part of this pie which says BMW. So I tweeted saying that, hey, how come BMW is not talking about this? And then, of course, I realized you were waiting to announce all of this. But jokes apart, the fact that it's almost happened quietly, you haven't made that much noise. What are the big contributors? It's the iX, of course, that would have been it was the first one to arrive, but is it the iX that gets
It is the biggest seller, but I think okay, let me first step back and talk about why did we talk about it till now, because we believe in a simple theory. We want to first deliver and then talk. And I think when we launched the electric products way back in end of 2021, if you remember, we said we'll be the first ones to launch 3 products in 180 days. We did that very efficiently. We delivered that. We also said that we'll have the best ever portfolio in the entire industry. And we still hold that mantle, because if you look at it with 4 distinctive products, I don't think anybody in the industry, forget about premium, the entire Indian auto industry, nobody's offering 4 distinctive products. So Mini is a great seller. It's 14% of our Mini sales. It's the 3rd best selling Mini in the country. An absolutely beautiful car for a absolute city run that you want. You look at the i4, wish I could get more of those, because people just want, and it's already sold out for the year. iX, an absolute stunner, because I think that's a perfect car for India. We love our SUVs, we know that, right? This is a full-size SUV, not a compromise SUV EV, right? You've seen it. It's as good as an X5. Spacious, road presence, new design, absolutely new cutting-edge design.
crazy dynamic, yeah.
It is crazy dynamic, and sustainability included with it. And then when you get a saving of 50% on your running cost, I mean, come on, it becomes the absolute choice that you want.
Yeah.
So iX, interestingly, some fun fact here, iX alone sells more than all the premium EVs combined in the country at the moment.
Just the one model.
Just the one model. So we own.
And again, you could probably do better with a higher allocation, I'm
Of
guessing.
course, which is happening now. So we're getting the stocks are arriving now. So absolutely, we'll be able to satisfy that demand, and I'm sure more cars on the road will sell more cars in the end. Plus, also the i7 that we launched is fantastic.
That was going to be my next question.
That's really doing fantastic as well. It's almost like you're getting equivalent demand for the electric.
Oh, nice.
And the ICE, which is, I think, great again from that product portfolio point of view. So 50% market share in the premium space in electric. So now we say boldly after doing it that we are absolute dominant market leaders.
No, and to your credit. But what's the impact of this at the headquarter level? Does it mean better allocations now? Because electrics, I know the demand is coming from everywhere.
Yeah. So of course the allocation's there. I mean, and that's why you see the volume increasing month on month. Actually, what's happening on a monthly basis. So that's there. But you're right. Globally, the demand is there. So as a global thing, we're still catching up on the demand versus supply situation on electric. But I can assure the customers that in coming 6 months, 12 months, it's going to be even better.
Yeah. And now you've just had the new X5 also arrive.
Yes.
Expectations from that?
I think it's been an icon in any case. X5 created the segment of SUVs in premium. So I think it owns that space. And the new generation is even more aggressive, much more road presence, even a little bit more spacious and bulkier than the previous generation. And then the latest technologies in there, with luxury quotient being even up further. So it's now coming into that space of, just before that top-end luxury class. It's actually giving you a flavor of the top-end luxury class even before you're getting into there. But I expect that'll be another fourth pillar for us, really, that'll go well. So between the luxury class, the entry X1 and the 3 grand limousine, this will be the fourth pillar now that will establish. Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen in the next, let's say, year or 2 years? Because every time people tend to focus on the SUVs, even in the premium brigade, because yes, that is where the bigger growth numbers are coming, month on month, year on year. But the sedans, are they still sort of holding out? Is there still a certain buyer that you need to service with that market? Not just for the 7 Series, but the others.
No, for us, it's a 50-50.
Yeah.
So SUVs is 50% of our portfolio, and sedan is 50 as well. So it's a very good balance. It was a little bit skewed towards sedan earlier. SUVs have caught up with our lineup now. So I think now we got the right balance. I don't expect it to be dramatically different. I don't expect sedans to disappear, especially for us as BMW, because I think we got a great product in 3 grand limousine. Our 5 has always been a great seller. And the 2 Grand Coupe is catching up as well, really, if you look at it as an entry-level kind of a sedan concept that we have got there. 7 is, of course, always there, and with the i7, it becomes even bigger. So it's almost doubling for us already that segment. So I expect the balance to be close to that 50, 55%, not more than that, between SUV and sedans. Yeah.
So decent volume still coming from the sedans,
It
foreseeable future too.
I can see that happening, continuously. I don't see us being a one-sided or a one-dimensional brand, and I can say that for everything, literally. So one is on the sedan SUV side. The other side, when we look at, is even if you look at the model portfolio, as we explained, even the entry level and the top end, or the luxury end, doing equivalently same in terms of contribution, 20% from either side of the business, right? I look at even petrol, diesel, electric, a very good balance. So we are not as skewed towards one platform or the other. Similarly, geographical coverage, 50% sale coming from top 10 cities, next 50 from 50% from 100 cities. Yeah. So it's a good balance for us, I think.
And that balance will keep growing as well.
I think that's what gives you sustainable growth, I would say. Because if you're dependent on only one element of the market or the one perspective of the market, then if that goes down, you go down with it. But when you have a very balanced portfolio and a balanced spread of your business, then it counterbalances with time. So I'm confident that our growth will continue.
What's your view on diesel? I mean, you've now stuck it out with diesel. The demand continues to be there. So
we have a power of choice for our customers. We always said that we are technically agnostic about this thing. So we're going to offer a petrol, a diesel, a plug-in hybrid, and a full electric vehicle at every price point. The customer gets to choose that, because I think every customer, every market in the world is different.
But what are your dealers telling you? I mean, is there still a good amount
there's still
of interest?
There's still demand of diesel. So where we have equivalent portfolio, I mean, you get 60% petrol, maybe 40% diesel still. I mean, of course, geographical areas it might vary.
Sure.
In Delhi, it's going to be different compared to Chennai probably. But when I look at it overall, we have equivalent kind of demand on both actually at the moment. So so we continue to focus on all the technologies.
That's good to know. Vikram, let's talk about Motorrad now.
Sure.
It's again one of those things which has kind of happened silently, where we've seen a lot of numbers building up. I think what you said at the start about, the shift in people's mindsets post the pandemic, I'm sure that's played maybe a bigger role in the case of Motorrad. How do you see it going? What are the kind of models that people are gravitating towards? Is there a big, skew towards the entry models, or is it balanced?
No, I think in India, Motorrad is still what we call as a leisure segment. It's not a commuter segment, and we don't intend to focus on commuter ever. Our focus will remain on creating the leisure segment more and more. So I think when we started with our strategy of a collaborative model with TVS in 2018, so we were the first ones to enter or create that segment of what we call as smart CC. And the reason we call it smart CC is because it's for the smarter, younger population of India, actually. And I think that's where the demand is coming from. With all the younger generation that want to get into some kind of a leisure activity than just going out to pubs, and of course they love going out to pubs still, but I'm saying just doing that, they love doing some of the activities as a community as well. And we're seeing more and more people riding every day. So on the weekend rides are actually becoming much bigger than what it used to be earlier. And that's a great sign, because once that culture grows, the demand grows with it, actually. So we've seen a growth of more than 40-45% every year. This year, first half is also 50% growth. Yes, mainly driven from our smart CC, 90% of sales come from that. But that doesn't mean the high-end CC is not growing. It's growing at the same pace as well. So 90% has been a contribution of the smart CC kind of consistent for 2 years now. So that gives me the confidence that yes, people are entering the segment first and then also migrating upwards.
And you've had a lot of models coming in.
We have actually. I think we have the widest range in Motorrad, if I'm not wrong. And I think even in the smart CC, we're the only ones offering 3 distinctive formats. So be it the 310R, the 310GS, or the RR that we launched last year. So I'm really proud that we actually became leaders in that. And yes, we wanted to do it quietly, but because again, we want to achieve first and then talk about it. So we achieved it now. I'm really happy that people follow us into that space now, which is good.
Well, I was about to say that we've had a lot of that now coming to fruition.
Welcome.
I know the announcements happened soon after your sort of kickoff with TVS. What do you see that doing for the market in terms of expanding the segment? We know it will, but how's that going to help maybe make this, shift from being purely commuter to maybe being commuter plus leisure?
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, so again, it's depending on what strategy the rivals are going to follow. I mean, our strategy, like I told you, is very clearly about focusing on the leisure side more, because I think that's where the fun comes more element from our side. But if they were to focus on a combination of commuter and leisure, that'll be a different ball game. Then you get into a price point game there, actually luxury
Which
game.
we've seen.
So I think you've got to watch out for that space. What do you want to be? You can't be everything to everyone. So you got to choose what you want to be. As BMW, we want to be clearly a provider of luxury, premium motorcycling experience for our customers, be it in the smart CC or higher end CC, and we'll continue doing that. And I think we're established and people really appreciate the kind of value we offer them.
All right, so one last thing before I let you go. First half, terrific. It's great for you and your team. Your top 2-3 expectations from the second half?
To do even better. So we catch up with all the suppliers now, so make sure our customers get the deliveries that they've been waiting for, especially before the festive period, because I think that's very auspicious from a cultural point of view. So we're making every effort to make sure that it gets delivered. Of course, there are still some logistical challenges that are happening across the world. So I already apologized to my customer if there's going to be some delay or the other on a week-by-week basis, but that's beyond our control. I think the entire world is facing ship shortages, container shortages, even inland truck shortages are happening at the moment. So we try to cater for that. But the other thing is keep exciting the market further, because it's only the 12th launch we did in the year with the X5. There's still 7 more cars to come. There's still 1 more bike to be launched, and there's some surprises there, which I'm sure will excite people.
Yeah, I saw that in the notes where it said 8 all new models, and then of course updates, like you said. You're not going to tell me what they are, so I'm not gonna ask
you know I never do. But it's always when we launch it, we'll of course talk about it.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Can't wait to drive them all. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Siddharth.
And congrats again.
Thank you very much.